Perhaps you have felt that some doors have closed without explanation. Perhaps you have prayed and waited for an answer that has not yet come. But something strange is happening that your eyes still cannot see. I am a messenger sent to remind you of a simple truth. God never abandons those who continue trusting in Him. Even when everything seems at a standstill, He is still working. The silence that troubles your heart today does not mean that God has forgotten you. Many times, it is precisely in that silence that He prepares the next step. You have been looking at what you lost and thinking that it was the only opportunity that existed. But God does not depend on a single door to fulfill the plans He has for your life. When one door closes, He remains the same God who can open another at the right time. And when that new door opens, you will understand why the previous one had to remain closed. Perhaps you are tired of waiting. Perhaps you have asked more than once when the change will finally come. These questions are sincere, and God knows every one of them. He knows the tears that no one saw. He knows the fears you hide even from the people closest to you. None of this has gone unnoticed before Him. There is one detail that few people are able to notice during the waiting season. God is not only working to change the circumstances. He is also preparing the heart of the one who will walk through the new door. Because a blessing received before its time can become a burden that is difficult to carry. God knows the right time for everything. Think for a moment about the times when you believed everything was lost. Today, looking back, you may be able to see that some of those hardships prevented even greater problems. At the time, you didn't understand. Today, it makes sense. The same may be happening with the situation that occupies your thoughts right now. The Bible shows many people who went through long periods of waiting before witnessing great changes. At many moments, it seemed that God was far away. But He continued guiding every event in silence. When the appointed time arrived, what had seemed impossible began to happen in a way that no one could explain through human logic alone. That is why I need to ask you a question. What if the door you have been trying so hard to open is not the one God has chosen for you? What if He is guiding your steps towards something better than you can imagine right now? Before you answer in your heart, there is one more important truth you need to understand. Many times, you ask God to change your path, while He is preparing you to walk through a completely new place. This may seem difficult to accept when the days go by and nothing changes before your eyes. But God sees what is still hidden. He knows people you have not yet met, opportunities that have not yet appeared, and answers that have not yet reached you. Do not let the delay make you believe that you have been forgotten. Delay is not the same thing as abandonment. God never loses control of the story He is writing for your life. While you wait, He continues arranging details that seem invisible today. One meeting, one decision, one conversation, or one opportunity can change everything at the right time. Perhaps you have let fear speak louder. Fear makes you imagine that nothing will get better. It makes you believe that the future will be the same as the present. But fear does not know God's plans. It only tries to make you give up before you see what the Lord has already begun to prepare. There is a reason I am telling you this today. Some doors do not open because God is still removing what could hurt you later. Not every closed door is a loss. Some are protection. Even without understanding, you can rest knowing that God sees the entire path, while you can only see the next step. Remember how many times you have asked for guidance in prayer. God heard every word. Perhaps the answer did not come in the way you expected, but that does not mean it is not on its way. Sometimes, the answer begins with a closed door to keep you from following a path that would bring sorrow later on. I also want to remind you of another important truth. When God opens a door, no one can close it. And when He closes a door to protect you, insisting on forcing it open may bring more suffering than joy. Trusting in Him means believing that His vision reaches far beyond what you are able to understand today. Now look into your heart with sincerity. Is there still hope within you? Even if it seems small, God can strengthen it again. Faith does not have to be great for God to work. It simply needs to remain alive. A heart that continues to trust finds the strength to take one more step, even when it still cannot see the destination. But there is a sign that many people ignore just before a great change happens. When they finally understand this sign, they realize that God had already been preparing the new door long before they ever imagined. That is the sign I want to talk about now. The sign does not always appear the way you expect. Many people imagine that God speaks only through extraordinary events. But, very often, He begins to work through small changes. A peace that comes without explanation. A strength to keep going even after difficult days. A simple opportunity that seemed unimportant. That is how a new beginning can be born. Perhaps you have noticed that some people have drifted away from your life. That may have hurt your heart. But not every goodbye means defeat. God also removes what prevents you from growing. There are times when He closes chapters to make room for what truly belongs to the purpose He has prepared for you. Do not let sadness make you forget everything God has already done. Think about the times when you believed you would not be able to keep going, but you received the strength to move forward. You are still here. That did not happen by your own strength alone. God sustained you every step of the way, even when it seemed that no one else noticed the struggle that existed within your heart. Now I want you to pay attention to a truth that can change the way you face the days ahead. The new door does not always appear before your eyes first. Very often, it begins to open within your heart. God strengthens your trust before changing your circumstances. Because whoever learns to trust during the waiting will also know how to remain steadfast when the blessing arrives. Do not compare your timing to other people's. God knows the story of each son and each daughter. The path prepared for you does not have to be the same as anyone else's. What He is doing in your life is unique. Even if you cannot understand every detail today, keep walking in faith. Perhaps you have thought about giving up on a dream. Perhaps you have believed it was already too late to start over. But God does not work according to the human clock. As long as there is life, He can create new opportunities. A door that seemed impossible to open can become a reality when the time He has appointed arrives. I also need to warn you about something important. When God begins to open this new door, do not let fear make you turn back. Many people pray for change, but when it finally comes, they become trapped by insecurity. Remember who led you to this moment. If God opened the way, He will also give you the strength to move forward. Now do you understand why this message reached you today? It was not to feed your anxiety. It was to strengthen your trust. God wants you to keep moving forward, even without seeing the whole road. And there is one last truth you need to keep in your heart before taking the next step. The ultimate truth is this: God never opens a new door just to change the place where you are. He opens a new door to transform your life. So, do not be afraid of what is still unknown. The same God who was with you through the difficult days will continue to stand by your side when the new season begins. When you feel that nothing is happening, remember this message. It is not always possible to see God's work while He is carrying it out. Many seeds grow beneath the ground before they appear on the surface. In the same way, God may be preparing something important without you being able to realize it right now. I want you to wake up every day with this certainty in your heart: God is still in control. Difficulties are not greater than His power. Delays do not cancel His promises. Closed doors do not prevent His plans. When the right time comes, what once seemed impossible will give way to a new beginning. Do not let doubt speak louder than your faith. There will always be reasons to be afraid, but there will also always be reasons to trust in God. Every step taken with confidence brings you closer to the purpose He has prepared. Keep moving forward, even if the path is not yet completely clear. If today you feel tired, surrender that burden to the Lord. If you feel sadness, talk to Him. If you are confused, ask for guidance. God hears every prayer offered with sincerity. No tear goes unnoticed before Him. No request is ignored. At the right time, He will answer in the way that is best for your life. When the new door finally opens, you may look back and realize that God was guiding you the whole time. You will understand that every season of waiting had a purpose, that every obstacle brought a lesson, and that every moment of silence served to prepare you for something greater. So, move forward with courage. Do not carry the weight of yesterday. Do not let fear decide your future. Trust in God, take one step at a time, and remain steadfast. The new door represents more than just an opportunity. It represents a new chapter that God has already begun to write for you. Thank you for staying until the end of this message. May God strengthen your heart, renew your hope, and guide every one of your steps. Now confirm that you received this message by writing exactly this phrase in the comments. I choose to move forward with wisdom. And if this message spoke to your heart, join our community. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and continue walking with us. That way, you will receive the next messages and will not miss what God still wants to speak into your life.